Stop lying to yourself. You aren't an investor. You are a donor to the house, and your financial life is a slow-motion car crash you're trying to fix with a TikTok trend. Most people handle their money like they're blindfolded in a high-stakes casino. Payday hits, you pay the bills you can't avoid, you throw $200 at a random stock you saw on a top 10 list, and then you pray. Tactical check. If you are praying for your financial future, you've already lost. Wealth isn't built by hoping or catching a lucky wave. It is built by executing a sequence, a cold-blooded mathematical order of operations. Think of it like building a fortress. Most people try to pick the luxury curtains before they've even poured the concrete foundation. They buy the look of wealth before they own the mechanics of wealth. And the moment the first minor storm hits, a flat tire, a dental bill, a sudden layoff, the whole house of cards collapses. Today, I'm handing you the wealth hierarchy. We are going to stop the guessing games. I am going to show you the exact step-by-step order for every single dollar that enters your account, from your very first 100 to your first million. We are installing a new operating system. If you want to stop being the yield and start being the owner, pay attention. Let's talk tactics. I'm Leo, no gurus, no dreams. I believe basic logic is the most powerful force in the universe. Let me use basic logic to build your vault. So subscribe and let's get to work. The sequence begins at the absolute foundation. Level 0, the employer match. If you work for a corporation in America, your employer likely offers a 401k plan. Most people treat the enrollment email as corporate noise. They skip it because they would rather have an extra $200 in their checking account today. Logic check. This is a massive logic leak in your system. The 401k match is a system glitch. It is the only place on this planet where you get a 100% immediate return on your capital. Think about the math. If you earn $60,000 a year and your company matches 4%, they are handing you $2,400 for free every single year. You put in $2,400, they put in $2,400. You have doubled your money before you even leave the office. Wall Street hedge funds hire teams of MIT physicists to try and beat the market by 15%. You are being handed 100% and you are walking right past it. But the real destruction happens when you look at the time multiplier. That $2,400 you turned down this year, if you had taken it and let it sit in the S&P 500 for 30 years, that single year of missed match turns into over $40,000 of lost wealth. Now, imagine skipping that match for 10 years. You didn't just lose $24,000 in cash. You effectively burned a hole in your vault worth nearly $500,000 in future capital. Leaving your match on the table is like finding a stack of hundreds on the sidewalk every month and refusing to pick them up. Why doesn't HR remind you? Because every dollar they give you is a dollar the company loses. How to execute. Go to your benefits portal tomorrow. Find the contribution tab. Set it to the maximum match, not a penny less. You are using the corporate machine to finance your own escape. That is level 0. Once level 0 is secure and you've grabbed that free money, we move to level 1, armor plating. The system is designed to keep you fragile. The elite want you living exactly one paycheck away from a crisis. Why? Because a fragile person is an obedient person. When your radiator explodes or your child's wisdom tooth starts screaming and you have $0 in reserve, you are forced to panic. And what does a panicked person do? They reach for the plastic life support, the credit card with 24% interest. The moment you swipe that card in desperation, you've just become a long-term host for a financial parasite. You are no longer building your future. You are paying a penalty for your own survival. You need a shield. But here is where the average person logic fails. They keep their shield in the wrong room. If you have your emergency fund sitting in a standard savings account at a big-name bank like Chase, Bank of America, or Wells Fargo, logic says you are being robbed in plain sight. These banks are currently paying you roughly 0.01% interest. Mathematically, that is an insult. If you have $10,000 sitting there, the bank is handing you one single dollar as a thank you at the end of the year. Meanwhile, inflation is eating 3% to 4% of your purchasing power. You are literally paying the bank for the privilege of letting them devalue your life. They take your $10,000, lend it back to your neighbors at 7% for a mortgage or 24% for a credit card, and keep the massive spread for their shareholders. You are the donor, they are the owners. Logic says, move your shield to a high-yield savings account, HYSA. Modern online banks like SoFi, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, or Wealthfront are paying 4.5% or higher. They don't have expensive branches on every corner, so they pass that logic profit to you. On that same $10,000 shield, the math flips. Instead of $1, you earn over $450 a year. That $450 pays for your internet, your water bill, and your phone just for moving your money across the street. This is level 1 logic. Stop working for the bank and make the bank pay you for holding your shield. Your goal at this level is a $2,000 starter shield. This isn't wealth, this is mental bandwidth. It clears the not enough virus from your RAM. It buys you the right to stay calm when life gets messy. When the shield is up, the background noise of survival stops, and for the first time in your life, you have the silence you need to actually plan the war. How to execute. Open the account today. Automate the transfer. Plate the armor. We are moving to level 2. Now we enter the true battlefield. Level 2. The debt assassin. I see this tragedy every single day. People trying to buy Nvidia or Bitcoin while carrying a $5,000 credit card balance. Logic check. This is a catastrophic tactical error. In a good year, the S&P 500 earns you 10%, but your credit card, it is charging you 24% to 29% interest. Mathematically, you are trying to build a tower while someone else is digging a hole beneath you twice as fast. Every dollar you put into the stock market while carrying a balance is a donation to the bank. You are losing 15% of your net worth every single year, just for the feeling of being an investor. Let's address the great illusion, the grace period. Most people say, but Leo, credit cards are a free 30-day loan. Logic check. That only applies to the winners who pay in full. The system doesn't make billions from them. It makes billions from the revolvers. The second you carry even $1 over to the next month, the grace period is revoked for everything. Now, the bank tracks every coffee and every grocery bill from the exact second you swipe the card and starts the 24% meter. You aren't using the bank's money anymore. You are renting your own survival at a predatory rate. And then there is the minimum payment trap. This is the bank's secret weapon. They set the minimum payment just high enough to keep you legal, but low enough so you never actually kill the debt. If you owe $5,000 at 24% interest and only pay the minimum, you will be paying that bill for the next 22 years. You will pay back over $12,000 for a $5,000 debt. You've just turned your bank's shareholders into the owners of your labor for the next 2 decades. In the vault, we don't play, we execute. We use the mathematical avalanche. Step 1. List every debt you own, but ignore the balance. Only look at the interest rate. That 24% card is a level 5 monster. That 4% car loan is a kitten. Step 2. Pay the minimum on everything except the monster with the highest interest. Step 3. Take every spare dollar you found in level 0 and level 1 and funnel it into that monster's throat until it's dead. Every dollar you pay toward a 24% debt is a guaranteed 24% return. You will never, ever find a better investment on Wall Street. Stop being the exit liquidity for big banks. Kill the parasites before they grow large enough to swallow your vault. Once high interest debt is 0, your wealth engine finally has the oxygen it needs to breathe. Let's talk execution. Finally, we reach the end game. Level 3, the secret bunker. While most people play the game by the standard rules, they work, they get taxed, they invest in a standard brokerage account, and then the government shows up again to take a cut of their growth through capital gains tax. Logic check, you are feeding the government twice. You are volunteering to pay a success tax on your own intelligence. That is a tactical failure. You need a Roth IRA. In the vault, we don't call it a retirement account. We call it a secret bunker that the IRS, the taxman, is legally forbidden from entering. Let's look at the logic of the apple seed. Imagine you have a tiny seed. In a normal account, the government lets you plant it for free, but when that seed grows into a massive, towering tree with 10,000 apples, the government shows up with a ladder and takes 3,000 of them. They waited for you to do all the work, then they harvested the result. In a Roth IRA, the logic flips. You pay the tax on the seed today, maybe one tiny bite of the apple, but after that, the bunker door is sealed. Every single apple that tree produces for the next 30 or 40 years is 100% yours. Compounding is the 8th wonder of the world, but tax-free compounding is a financial nuclear weapon. Let's do the math. If you max out this bunker at $7,000 a year and earn a 10% return, in 30 years, you have $1.2 million. In a standard account, you'd owe the government over $200,000 of that. In the Roth IRA, you keep every penny. That is $200,000 of extra income simply because you chose the right room. The system limits you to $7,000 a year because they know how powerful this logic is. They don't want too many people using this back door. They want you to stay in the taxable zone where they can harvest you. If you aren't filling this bunker every single year, you are intentionally leaving your vault door open for the tax man. Level 3 is the pivot point where your money stops being a simple worker and starts being a legacy. It is the ultimate protection. It ensures that the wealth you build actually stays with the person who earned it, you. Now, let's finalize the architecture. Wealth is not a mystery of luck. It is a calculated sequence of decisions. Level 0, execute the match. Level 1, play to the armor. Level 2, kill the parasites. Level 3, seal the bunker. The system relies on your confusion. They need you to stay paralyzed so they can keep harvesting your life as yield. But today, the curtain was pulled back. You have the blueprint now. Logic check. The next 2 years will pass whether you act or not. You can arrive at the end of that road still guessing, still fragile, and still a donor to the house. Or you can arrive as the owner of a fortress. One path is easy and ends in 0. The other path is logical and ends in freedom. Build the sequence. Fuel the engine. I'm Leo. Value every dollar. Unlock the logic. Subscribe to the vault and let's start the construction. I'll see you inside.